Thank you, Conference. It is an absolute honour to be here today at the annual Women's Conference and to address you as the Shadow Minister for Women and Equalities. I hope soon that will be Minister for Women and Equalities. And it's great to speak to such a diverse crowd of politically active and engaged women. I want to thank all the women on the stage and those, of course, that are backstage, those of you here on the front row, middle row, and those towards the top as well. And I want to also make a special thank you to my mum, who's coming to her first conference today. I invited her today, and she's sat here over in the corner. You are our community leaders, campaigning for our public services, fighting for decent pensions, struggling for equality and in the workplace and equality within our society. You do this and so much more. Our party has never been that good at saying thank you, so I wanted to personally thank every single one of you today for your outstanding commitment to our party and our movement. I want to also say a special thank you to Dawn Butler MP, who's chairing our conference today. Dawn, like many women in our Labour movement that I'll mention in my speech today, has done a tremendous amount of work to push our agenda forward, and not just measly words, but actually tangible difference so that we have a real voice within our movement. So thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Angela.
I'd like to also do a special mention for our new candidate for Batley and Spen, Tracy Brabbin. I'm sure she's going to do us all proud. But we have much work to do right across our country to get more female MPs, more female Labour councillors, and even more female Labour mayors. So that's my first challenge to you today, Conference. For the future, let's see how many of you in the room today can go on to be the leaders of our movement in the future, in our councils, as MPs, and as our mayors. Like all of you in this hall today, my constituency is filled with inspirational women who inspire and motivate me every day. And I want to give a special mention to the amazing women in my hometowns of Tameside and Oldham. They are strong northern women. And one inspiration is our very own Dame Margaret Beckett, who was born in Ashton and cut her Labour teeth in Ashton constituency Labour Party. And God knows what it was like in them days, because I know what it's like now, so I'm sure it was pretty tough. But since then, Margaret has become our first ever female deputy leader and the longest serving female MP in the House of Commons. It's to women like Margaret that we owe a huge debt for blazing the trail, for showing us the way, for inspiring all us women to reach even higher. That's why I'm proud to announce today that Margaret's hometown of Ashton will be celebrating all of her achievements with the launch of our Dame Margaret Beckett Prize for Public Speaking for Teenage Girls, encouraging our young women, giving them confidence, spurring them on to be involved in politics and in our communities, inspiring us on something Margaret has spent her whole life doing. And this leads me back to my mum. My mum inspires me, and I'd like to tell you why. My mum was born on the largest council estate in Europe and was one of 12 children. They lived in poverty, and when I say poverty, I mean poverty in every single sense of the word. My mum won't mind me telling you this, but to this day she cannot read and write, and she was bullied at school. They barely survived, let alone lived on what money my mum's family had. And my mum never felt loved and didn't know how to love. Hugs, cuddles, and any signs of affection just wasn't the norm. Throughout her life, she has faced hardship and struggle. She tried her best to be a good mum, and I know that now. I haven't always given her an easy ride. It's fair to say that my upbringing was only marginally better than my mum's, mainly because of the interventions by the state and the advancement of equal rights in Britain. My mum would be the first to admit that she didn't know how to love us kids, she says it, or how to care for us. Let's face it, she didn't have the right role models or upbringing herself. But do you know what? My mum taught me that we have to keep fighting to improve the system. We have to break down the barriers that exist still to this day for many women in our country and across the world. She taught me through her own struggles that I was just as good as anyone else and to stand tall and be proud of who I am. Now, speaking personally, if you haven't already, it's been a bit of a whirlwind year for me. I went from being a humble new backbench MP, fighting on behalf of my constituents, to the opposition whip's office, which I can't tell you all the secrets because Rosie may be listening. I then went on to be the Shadow Pensions Minister, helping to champion the cause of the inspiring WASPy campaign. It was one of my truly inspirational moments. And now, of course, the Shadow Secretary of State for Education, Women and Equalities. I have a huge amount of people to thank, not least many of the people in this room. They all know who they are. But I want to thank, most of all, my partner and my 3 children for the love and devotion. They are my rock. They've helped me through some difficult times. Throughout my journey, they've kept my feet on the ground as a proud working-class mum, also happening to be a Labour MP. But I'm an MP for a purpose, to change society for the better, striving for equality, justice for everyone, with all of my heart. Having my background and upbringing, I know something about equality of opportunity, and I know when it's missing. And it's missing today in every walk of our lives. I have only 10 minutes to speak, and I've used up over half of them already, so I cannot do justice to many of the crimes and the struggles women still face today across the UK and globally in the time that I have left. But I'm sure you will all discuss some of these challenges and possible solutions during our workshops later today. Gender inequality affects us all. It affects our whole family and our society. We can never give up or stop fighting, exactly as Jess spoke about earlier. We stand on the shoulders of giants, giants like my mum, who survived the abuse that she suffered. Giants like Margaret and Harriet, who have trailblazed the way for us in Parliament. And giants like the women in this room and across the world that continue to fight and won't accept injustice and misogyny. The same misogyny that rears its ugly head on our social media. It's awful, it's hate-filled, and it cannot ever be tolerated. I condemn all abuse, harassment and intimidation. And the message has got to be loud and clear from Labour, is that it's not welcome in our society and it's definitely not welcome in our party. Because conference, these trolls, they want women to be seen and not heard. They want us to keep quiet, to know our place. Well, we must never, ever give in to that. As Harriet mentioned earlier, we have a female Prime Minister in number 10, the second Prime Minister of our country. And I congratulate Theresa May, but I cannot celebrate her arrival. Nor can I allow our own failures to go unnoticed. The Conservative Party, the party of privilege and inequality, has stolen a march on Labour, Britain's greatest ever force for equality. Our party of votes for women, of equal pay, the Sex Discrimination Act, the Race Relations Act, gay marriage and equal rights for the LGBT community, the party of all women shortlists, the party where down the road in Manchester, more than 50% of our councillors are now women. That is our proud legacy. But conference, we need to continue the fight because, as Harriet said, we still have an absolute long way to go before women can achieve true gender equality in our society and within our very own party. That's my second challenge for you today, conference. We must show the way forward for Labour. Women must be at the heart of our Labour movement, and it is up to you in this conference to make that happen. That's the challenge. No one else is going to do it for us, conference. Conference, none of us are fooled by Theresa May's One Nation spin and all of her empty rhetoric about meritocracy. She's been at the heart of a failing Tory government for the past 6 years. Yeah. And Conference Labour is now looking to our future. We have a new leader with a renewed mandate, and I congratulate Jeremy Corbyn on his victory. Conference, our members have spoken, and we must now hear them. We are Her Majesty's opposition, and we have serious work to do. So our Labour family must now come together and move forward as one Labour. This is my third and final challenge to this conference. Bring back our Labour family. And conference, it is us, the women, who must be at the forefront of uniting our divided party. We have the unique skills and experience which can help bring about a Labour family together. Our passion, our energy, our knowledge must ensure that we hold the Tory government to account. Otherwise, conference, the families that rely on us most to get on in life will never forgive us if we let them down in their hour of need. We cannot turn inwards again while the Tories bring back grammar schools, destroy our hard-won fights in Europe, close down thousands of nursery schools and privatise what remains of our public services. Conference, I know what poverty feels like. I felt it as a child. My parents were lucky. They had a welfare state, a safety net created by Labour. Labour has been there for my family, from cradle to grave, time and time again. That very same welfare state is now facing an ideological attack like never before from this Tory government. Life is becoming harder for the majority of people, and it will be women and children who will be hurt the most. Our mothers, our sisters, our daughters. We have a moral, political, and historic obligation to work together on behalf of working people. It is our new mission. We are one party, one family, one Labour.